Anyway, well, the good news is that there are lots of good people out there like yourself, right, who are committed. And so the whole idea is, okay, imagine 100 of you, of Jessica,
Yes,
right? 100
101.
of 100 of you.
Love that day.
I mean, oh, imagine the magic we can create together. And truly, truly, as you well know, right? As you well know,
Yes,
amazing things are done not by, they are done by people who just decide to do it.
yes,
Okay, that's it.
yes.
That's
Who
it.
decides to do it?
It's it.
Exactly.
It's not like you require all kinds of things. No, no, it's such. It's a myth.
No,
It's a
no,
myth. It's a total myth.
no.
It's a total myth.
And really right now, I can actually say, Ahmad, if you're a service coordinator and you have that passion and desire to help, you're gonna figure out a way. You don't have to be the best presenter. You might even be introverted and not like to talk to people. But if you're using all of these technical apps and different things that they have, just one search and chat and you just ask for put your zip code in and say, hey, I'm a service coordinator. I'm looking for food banks that are available. I'm looking for churches who have, hot meals. You'll get a plethora of things. The thing is how you relay it, how you push it out, because you
Exactly.
have to use some type of technology now. A
Yeah.
lot of seniors are not going to be on phones and computers. That's why bringing that stuff to their community, getting them laptops, making sure they have smartphones, making sure you have 5 week or 10 week trainings where they know how to use that phone, get alerts. Putting kiosks. I mean, I'm talking about bringing everything so that anytime they need something, they can just go and say, hey, I know that I can call, text Jessica, or you know what, she left us something here, so that'll always help
Yeah.
us.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the old fashioned community boards. I
Mhm.
mean, I post stuff on the community boards and the properties, but when I go to grocery stores, if I go to any offices or anything, I'm posting stuff to let them know, like, hey, if you want to donate to seniors, we have an Amazon wish list. If you have anything, you want to donate, please reach out to us. Because I don't turn down anything. When people want to donate furniture, I have an organization who will come and pick it up and help people when they move in after an eviction to get themselves settled. So it's like if you're a service coordinator of today, I would say, and this is your true passion. I'm 51 and I tell people I'm never going to retire. This is where I'm going to be, because when I move in my 55 or 62 and older community in a couple, years, I'm going to offer these services in my building.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, so it's like I don't think any service coordinator should be, here to say, oh, I'm going to retire, unless if it's a health issue
Sure.
or something, but it's very invigorating, and it's something that you feel good about. Don't get me wrong, you have some days where you feel like, oh my gosh, I wish I could do more. But I had to train myself to understand I can't help everybody, but I don't have to give up on them. I can actually keep following them through and some type of motivational, get them with someone, even if it's not me, someone that they feel like they can connect with, even if it's in their family.
Yeah.
And the sad part about it is a lot of our seniors, their families have dropped the ball, left
Yeah.
them with these buildings for 20, 30 years, and then they don't even know where their grandchildren are.
Yeah.
So, like this Thanksgiving, my kids are grown, have their own homes, and they travel, and husbands and I mean, I'm sorry, boyfriends. So my thing is, this is my time. I already did a survey, and when I found out that 60% of the building was not going anywhere, they don't cook. So I'm like, you know what? As a service coordinator, I know everybody doesn't have to do it, but this is where I'll be on Thanksgiving. It
Right.
was the only building that had a 60% spike, and nobody was coming to be with them. So that's not right. And you don't want isolation. We don't want depression. And that's all going to happen from this food insecurity
Oh yeah.
that's going to increase right now.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to take the $15, at least that was $15 where they could have bought some milk or they could have bought a case of water,
True. True. True.
And a lot of the food banks, they're not giving you cases of water. And another thing, what about hygiene products? Like
Yeah.
they need Depends, and they need some of them need to do boosts, because this is a big thing. If they're not going to have food, then we need to give them Boost and Ensure, because then they can drink something that has protein and nutrients,
Mhm.
because we got to find some kind of way to sustain them. So that's something I've been working on too. Like with the Salvation Army, they gave me a bunch of Boost, and I might not be able to give a lot of food, but I can actually supplement with some Boost some days when they're getting low on food.
Yeah, yeah. No, one has to be creative. And the thing is that we are right now with all the technologies coming out, right? Information
Yeah.
technology and all those these AIs and all that. I think it enables us to deliver on the mission of connecting with each other and being aware of the resources that we have and being able to do things as simple that could be very, very hard as to draft a nice letter to, the
Yes.
head of marketing in Costco, for example, right?
Hmm.
Or whoever. I guarantee you, the thing is, these big companies, they have somebody who's in charge of their PR, their brand, engagement of
Yes.
communities, right? Knowing how
Mhm.
to engage with those folks, right? All of a sudden creates something that could be massive.
Yes.
Imagine, for example,
Yes.
we get Trader Joe's, we get Costco, we got 4 or 5 of these in their national program, and the beauty is that they all have they are somewhere in the United States. They have presence everywhere,
Hmm.
right? They're
Hmm.
ubiquitous, right? All of a
Exactly.
sudden, if you do that, and they don't, these folks, what they don't like, and I think they don't like doing it one by one. They see it as a
Hmm.
program where they can get a lot of press, and then that's why I brought in, not brought in, but engaged with, what's her name, Kimberly from
Hmm.
Nights, right? You have to bring in folks who are gonna write about it, because what these
Yes.
folks do, remember, these are businesses, right? For them,
Hmm.
this is okay. They feel good about it, but they want to justify to their boss as a business activity. They
Exactly.
say it's a PR, right?
Yes.
So now, when you
Yes.
understand that logic, and then you understand that they want to do things that are big. They don't want to do small things. They want to do big things.
Hmm.
They want to say we are covering 25,000 people because that's Costco, right? They want to say things like
Hmm.
that, right? And so if you start working in that dynamic, bringing the press, bringing people who are executives, an executive in Costco will, when they say do, the people there will do, the stores will do.
Hmm.
Well, they will listen to the SVP of whatever it may be, right?
Yes.
So working
Yes.
that stuff, right, is the way to go, I think. But what drives it is, is the fact that there are these service coordinators who are actually working right now on the ground. And I think what we need to do is we need to make the most of the fact that it's a crisis. All right.
Hmm. Hmm.
Before it was not a crisis. It was a crisis, but it was not like mainstream headline CNN crisis. Right now, it's mainstream CNN.
Yes.
So we cannot let this window go by unexplored,
No.
right? We have to jump on it, and we have
No.
to, create connections. So because what is dangerous is it subsides, and then people go
Hmm.
back to their routine of
Exactly.
paying attention, right?
Exactly.
So
It's
time is
like
of the essence.
people are trendy. It's like a trend. And
Yeah,
I don't like the trends, because life is turning into one big, we move from one thing to the other. And then you just,
you
things that were
react.
happening in the beginning of January, no one's talking about that now, but we
Exactly.
didn't resolve anything,
No, no, we're
and we didn't
reacting.
find a
Yeah,
solution. Everybody's reactive. We're in a reactive
reactive. We're constantly
society.
in reactive mode, as opposed to, I think
Yes.
what we want to do now is we want to react in such a way that we start to build an infrastructure that is not
Yes.
is building, right? That is building
Yes.
for sustainability. Sustainability is such a word that everybody wants to use, but they don't know what it means, to be honest with you.
They don't know what it means.
Really, it doesn't. They
No.
don't know. Sustainable means what? It means build something that can continue to grow organically, right? It sustains itself.
Exactly.
And then
And
so,
then,
yeah,
we have people who, if you're not working before the government layoffs, and the shutdown, we have a partner, and they'll tell you, like, if the person is not working and they need eviction prevention, they're not sustainable, meaning we'll give them $2,000, but then they'll be evicted with our $2,000 the following month.
exactly.
So when you talk about sustainability on that end, that goes into what I was talking about earlier. I want to help people to become sustainable once we get the balance to zero by
Exactly.
making the referrals to our partners. Once you get to zero and you have that debt gone, what about your other debts? What about now making sure that you don't have to need eviction prevention or energy assistance, and you move to the next phase of the referral process to do financial counseling with our other partners? So when you say sustainable, you have to be also accountable. So you can't be sustainable if you're not going to be accountable for why you're
Yeah.
where you are.
I mean, it's hard.
And
I mean,
we're
like, I mean,
finding
yeah, I'm sorry. The hard thing is sometimes the person wants, but they can't. They want to help themselves, but they can't. Maybe they don't know where to do, where to go. Maybe they have a
or mental
dependency.
health.
What a mental health,
It could be
mental
a
health.
mental health.
It's not like they
Hmm.
have a bad attitude, right? I mean,
No.
which means that, I mean, that's what makes it hard is one has to go to the root cause of this.
Yeah.
Getting to the root cause of
Mhm.
something is hard, as you well know, right? It's
I
easy
know.
to give them money. I mean, because not it's not easy. You have to go and work and get the
Not
money,
easy.
right? But once you give them the money, like you said, okay, how about no, 6 months from now when the money runs out? I mean, if they're still doing whatever they're doing, their habits, whatever, because they can't get out of it. It's hard to get out of
Yeah.
addiction. It's hard to get out of,
And and
yeah,
And really, to be honest, it's generational. From what I
generational.
found, I have over 30 plus years in real estate. So I've gone from, real estate management, well, real estate sales, residential, commercial to management to the service coordination side. So I've seen all sides.
Mhm.
And I've seen, here in Maryland, not just here in my hometown, we have a generational mindset of, if I have a housing choice voucher, you know, I'm going to teach the next generation how to get the voucher, or they pass it on because it's generational. And then they have that mindset of, I will stay on the voucher, but once they get education or, a job that will pay them, that'll push them away from the voucher. The next thing is, we have that generational mindset of, what can I get for free?
Hmm.
How much more can I get for free? And it's taught and they push it down from generation to generation because this is an eye-opening time that we're in right now because all of that old, I'm gonna do this with the voucher, I'm gonna
Yeah,
drive a $80,000 car and I'm gonna pay $20 a month in rent. That is not going to be life anymore. So all of that generational of how do I work the system to get everything I can for free is going to go away. And it's starting with SNAP because I think going into the new year,
mhm,
we're going to also see where the housing choice vouchers, the voucher program is going to leave the federal government under HUD and it's going to move to a state grant under a block grant. The state has never managed housing choice vouchers before.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
I'm just trying to, prepare our residents for, times are changing. That generational of, my mom and grandmother taught me, what to do with the voucher and how to work this. It's not going to work anymore. And I want them to the new generation, the younger generation to just forget that mindset. But sometimes it starts, it really starts at home. It starts from when they're young. They watch, they learn, they observe, and then it's very hard to break it within that small interaction that I have
yeah,
for, 30 to 60 days.
yeah, yeah,
Can I break that? And they say it only takes what, 60 days or 90 days to break a habit, but I don't have that,
yeah,
I don't have that time to have hundreds of people that I could spend 90 days with to help them break that mindset of something that they started in their home when they were young,
yeah,
where their families learned how to work the system.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
and now with the SNAP, I'm very curious. And that's why like when we started this conversation, I created these surveys because I want to reach out to everyone who's ever crossed my path since I've been here in almost 2 years. Let me know how SNAP benefits being cut is going to affect your household. That data is going to tell me a lot because I'll be able to read and know, who just totally depends on it to who has it, but really it wasn't really beneficial in the first place because they were getting $15.
yeah,
So that's the information that we really need to, focus on.
yeah,
And
yeah,
like you were saying, breaking the cycle. But at the same time, understanding, like I was mentioning before, I've run into the mental health. It's already been, damaged early. And they just don't comprehend a lot of the challenges that are coming ahead right now. Because I'm trying to prepare my seniors and prepare my families,
yeah,
like, yes, first is SNAP, but what if? What if this? And if they push you to market rent, will you be able to stay in Howard County? Let's look at transitional housing. Working with investors, and I've reached out all the time and like, please, if you have a home and you're renting it right now for $1,200, and you're barely getting the rent because the person can't make the bills, rent it to a organization, a nonprofit who will set it up and put beds in there for families and children, and you charge per bed because people are going to need to live like that,
Mm.
where if you're going to provide the food, you're going to provide the bed, the toiletries, and everything. Yes, it might be that bed might cost you what, $900 to $1,000 a month, but you're getting food, you're getting shelter, you have support, you're going to have transportation coming to the house. This is the model that I've had in my mind, like, this is the times when we need to do this, because no one's going to be able to afford the rents in these apartments or even the homes, because the landlord's bills are going up as well, the owners, so they're going to need to increase their rent. So we have to learn
Yeah.
now, in order to provide that substance for food, for housing, everything. We need to take all of these homes or take all these abandoned buildings, and we need to do transitional housing. You put mental health, you put the financial counselors, they have like classes and things they need to attend inside these buildings so that they can actually one by one be transitioned out once we get through all this madness, and buy a home or rent another property that's affordable, or just be in a transitional home while they're on the wait list. But it has to be something that we put in place right now, because as a service coordinator, my mind, I always think of, yes, I can provide resources, referrals, but also, am I also working with developers and investors to say, hey, don't build another community for, and you call it affordable, and the unit is what, 400 to 500 square foot, and you want $2,000 a month. How is that affordable?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you're depending on the voucher to pay $1,200 of it, and they pay. We don't need to think like that anymore.
Right, right. It's got to be rational, right? It's got to be based on
It's got to be rational.
what's out
Yeah.
there in terms
Use
of, yeah.
use these abandoned buildings. Like, this is the time when developers, everyone should get together, take the abandoned buildings in Baltimore City. Everywhere you see an abandoned factory or warehouse, do whatever you need to do, get the drawings, the plans, architect, the zoning, and just turn it into transitional housing, and have contracts with restaurants and food providers and, you know, Costco, whoever, and bring in the toiletries and have everything, and they pay. If you're going to give grant money away, pay for that. Pay for them to get the transitional and be able to get the skills and get everything they need. The children get what they need and to be safe.
Well, I mean, the hope is the following. The hope is that in the short
Yeah.
term, we figure out how to solve this crisis, number one.
Yes.
Number two, hopefully we will, like you said, we will start thinking about, well, there is at least, a segment of the population has the wrong habits, has been conditioned to do certain things that are not sustainable. Number two, but I think number three, we need to have, a system where our taxes go to the right places. They don't go to bills,
Yes.
go to wars, and $20 billion to Argentina. What? Right? 20 billion. All of it.
I
Where did it
haven't
come
figured
from?
that out. But why,
Where did that money come
why
from?
though? I don't
Somebody has
know.
to tell me, so there is, so I mean, in the long term, what we want to do is we want to have our taxes pay for the right things, right?
Yes.
We're not doing that now. So in the
No.
interim, you can't just let people die, because maybe that's what these
No.
fucking, sorry, what these people who
You
are in
can't.
the billionaires, maybe they want to get rid of the population that is poor. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just
Yeah.
thinking that, why is this happening? Why are
Yeah.
the most vulnerable people, the children and the elderly, why are they being so decimated and disrespected and neglected? Whereas the money is going to cutting taxes for the rich.
Mm-hmm.
Do they need,
Mm-hmm.
how many yachts do they need, these people, right? I mean, do they need 100 yachts? How many rockets do they need to send to the moon? Whatever, right? So that
Yes.
it makes you think about the fact that what we have right now is not really a responsive government, but the interim
Mm-hmm.
cannot be where we just kind of die and waiting for things to get
Yeah.
better, right? And so that's why, I'm
Exactly.
really impressed by the fact that you are such a self-empowered person as a model. I think that folks should look up to and emulate, and hopefully we can work together with a lot of other folks who are really, really, not as experienced as you are, but they have that mojo in them. They want to do things.
Yeah.
right?
Because that's all you need. That's all you need is the passion.
Yeah.
And I always say, if you have the passion and I see it in you, and if I talk to you for less than 2 minutes about service coordination, I'll know if you have it. When I just went to a conference for 4 days with the American Association of Service Coordinators,
Yeah.
with coordinators from all over the world, the end of August. And it was the most uplifting, empowering conference that I've ever attended, because there was not one person who passed me in the hallway of thousand, I think it was over 1,300 people at this conference at the Gaylord. Not one person who would walk by you in the hall did not say, hello, how are you today?
Yeah.
Look at your badge. And you know what that let me know? Those are people who need to be service coordinators, because they do not let a soul pass by them
Yeah.
and not speak and introduce themselves and be proud that they're a service
Yeah.
coordinator.
Yeah.
I mean, I met people from Alaska. I wouldn't need Alaska resources, but just to know that that person
Yeah.
walked up to me and was like, I just wanted to say hello. It was the best environment. And
Yeah.
I know the one thing that I get joy out of is training another service coordinator that has that passion up front, because it's nothing to share with them like dashboards and forms and fair housing laws and like you should do this. That's the easy part, but they got to have something inside them
Yep.
from the
Absolutely.
beginning. And that is the spark right there. This cannot just be, oh, this job pays really good, I'm going to go for it because I need the money. It's not about the money. This is not about your salary. This is, and I sometimes have to catch myself, because I tell people that seasoned coordinator that's between that 35, or I'll say, oh no, I say 40 and 50. You know that you got you a seasoned coordinator, because they've been through things in their life where they had to reach out, or they didn't even know that they could get support or services. And once they discover that they could do this and help others and they get joy in it,
Yeah.
it's something that triggers inside of you that you never want to stop doing it. Even if you have a whole week of not a soul come to you and need any support, you redirect that energy and you go and you do something in the community to just let them know that you're there,
Yeah.
and then that sparks it right up. So
No, I was
I
there. I
think
was there in August. I was there for the very first time in my life. I attended that conference, and I've attended lots and lots of conferences. I'm from technology and business, right? I've attended
so.
a
You
lot.
were at the American
I
Service
was, I
Coordinators?
was in
Oh, I was there too.
Harbor. Well, I didn't know you. If I knew you, would would have
Yes,
lovely conversations. But no, as I was saying, and I've attended lots of conferences, or marketing, whatever. There's
yes.
no way you can compare the quality of
No,
human beings, just human
no.
beings, right? So I
Yes.
was true, and I told the service corps, the leadership at Ask, right, that it was the first time where every conversation had meaning, you know,
Every conversation had meaning.
you know what I mean?
Everyone.
Every
In
single one
every
of them, they
every
have a
class.
story, and you can see that they're
Exactly.
alive. They're alive.
Mhm.
They're not zombies.
Exactly.
And so, and the thing is, as we grow older, and rich people say this all the time, as we grow older, they figure it out. They figure out that what's important is to help other people. And
Is
here
to
we
help other
are,
people
folks, who are every single day helping people who are
every day.
who need help. They're not like
Yes.
it's a nice to have. They actually need
Hmm.
help to get through at many levels. Eating,
Yes.
medicine, being
Yes.
comforted, and
Hmm.
being feeling like they are part of a community. All of that is so
Yes.
meaningful. The only thing that we need to make sure of is to figure out a way, and I think the American Association of Service Providers is doing that, is to champion for them to be compensated in a way that
Exactly. Because
is
they
not
did, they
fair. It's not fair
don't.
to
If they
exploit.
don't.
This is like
Yes.
exploiting good people, and I hate nothing more.
Exactly.
I hate nothing
Like
more.
the
Like
Ross
some.
grant. I don't understand how the government pays so low for the Ross grant. The grant is not even that much, but if you read the fine print, it was like, how is a service coordinator supposed to survive on like $13, $15? It was so low. And I think that, with people like ourselves advocating and, me working with American service coordinators, just other coordinators who've been designated, you know, um, we throw a lot of ideas around. Like once I left that conference, I felt so empowered. I have about 22 service coordinators from all over the country, and we're in a group text, and I called it service providers who care. And we talk every single week. Like there's national resources and services out there. Like, They were interested in things that I knew, and they shared stuff with
There you
me.
go.
And it's all like since August, we've been able to bring that stuff to our states or to
That's
our
wonderful.
property. So,
That's wonderful. Yeah.
I just say that, it's just a thing where you have to connect. You are in a society, I know I meet people all the time. They'll say, I'm very introverted. And I'm like, that's fine. But one thing I see is you're not that introverted. You care about helping people. You're
You can't be that
you're
introverted.
extroverted when you want to help. So that's the good part.
That is a good observation. Absolutely. There are people who think that
Yeah.
they're introverted, but when it comes to they get up
Yeah.
and do it.
You're very extroverted. Exactly. And it's a plus. So
Absolutely.
I must say that, this climate that we're in right now, it's going to keep a lot of service coordinators up at night. This from the government shutdown October 1st to now November 1st has passed, and we're doing the SNAP. Unfortunately, looking ahead, I just think, December, unfortunately, it'll be something else. And then it's the pressure. And I know, the pressure is just to make the Democratic Party fold and just say, hey, we're going to let the Obamacare go. We're going to give in.
Which I don't understand
But
because if it does happen, right? I mean, what's gonna happen? I think people are gonna get even
yeah,
worse, and a lot of
yeah,
these folks are Republican voters. So I don't understand the logic of it, to be honest with you. But
yeah.
maybe I don't know enough.
I just don't. And I try not to be too political because I have to be a stronger mind and keep my sanity for my residents, for everything else. So I try to stay out the politics. But sometimes life happening is the politics is
Well, I mean,
rolling into my
real
job.
politics. This is real politics. This is
This
where
is real politics.
this is not where people just debating each other about.
No,
This
this
is
is
people
happening.
being hurt by
Hmm.
actions and inaction, right?
By
And
actions.
so it's
Yes.
it's important to. I mean, it's not like one side is innocent, the other one is not, right? Both of them are guilty in
No.
their own ways, right? So one
Yeah.
can be political in that sense. I'm not taking any sides, to be honest with you. All right, to be honest with
Yeah,
you,
me either.
I'm
Yeah.
just saying
Just
that
got to stay neutral.
why can't they figure it out? They should be able to figure it out, all right? At the give
Yeah.
and take, figure it out, right, amongst yourselves, right? But that's easier said than done.
It's
Yeah,
the ego and power struggles of the human being. Like, unfortunately, we have egos and we have these power struggles where people want to say, I did this and I'm better than
yeah.
this.
People
And,
forget. I think you're right.
and they forget humanity.
They
So
forget. The thing is that
humanity
people
has been
forget that these
lost.
people who are in Congress, these people who are in Congress, right? They are
Hmm.
human beings who have their own
Hmm.
little egos and fiefdoms and little
They
careers to take
do.
care of, right?
Hmm.
And for some reason, right, most of them don't realize that what they're doing affects hundreds of millions of people literally, right? Maybe
Yeah, it
billions across
does.
the world, right? But they have to do their
Hmm.
little thing and know, save face and this and that.
Hmm.
And it just feels to me that, we are getting into the second we finished the first quarter of the 21st century, right?
I know.
We just finished the first quarter of 21st century, and we still have this situation. I mean, we are much richer
Hmm.
than we were, in the 80s or in the
Yeah,
60s or the 70s.
yeah,
Yet things seem to be going worse, which is
it
astonishing,
is.
right? Anyway, so this was supposed to be a 30-minute conversation. It is
I
now
know.
45-minute conversation show. Yours is gonna be a two-episode podcast. So we're gonna have
Okay.
part one, part two. I could have, I think, with you, I could have 15 parts, and we would still be scratching the surface. But Jessica, I know you're a busy person. I'm gonna say thank you so much for
You're
sharing
welcome.
what you've shared, and you and I are gonna be working very closely. I'm gonna be latching on to you like you wouldn't believe.
It's
Just to
fine.
connect us to a lot of good folks out there. And I think no
Yes.
matter what, we will be able to do at least something together that is positive, and that's
Yes.
all can one can ask. Okay,
Yes.
well, I'm gonna let you go get your what is it? The
My bagel.
your big.
So my senior, I'm at one of my senior properties in Ellicott City, and they can't, like, if they see me coming, they say, you never stop to eat your breakfast or your lunch. And I never do, because I kind of like have to eat on the move between sites, but they are determined. Like, I'm here working hard to make sure that they have food. The little bit that they have, they'll come down and just be like, I'm gonna give you
That's
something. So
beautiful.
that just tells that's why I will do anything that I possibly can to make sure that they're okay.
That is beautiful. That is beautiful. On that note, thank you so much, Jessica. I
You're
appreciate it.
welcome. Thank you.
Take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye.